What's going on, my fellow rock and rollers? Don't forget to hit the bell notification icon to be notified every time I put out a new video on my channel. With the Stanley Cup Finals going on right now between the Dallas Stars and the Tampa Bay Lightning, I wanted to talk about the time the members of Pantera and the Dallas Stars did some serious damage to Lord Stanley's Cup. The NHL Stanley Cup has seen its fair share of abuse over the years, and the Stanley Cup has a rich history of misadventures and misfortunes, including being drop-kicked into the Rideau Canal in 1905 by the original incarnation of the Ottawa Senators. Maurice Richard once chipped 2 teeth on it in 1957 while drinking from the cup, and more recently, following the Boston Bruins' 2011 win, player Michael Ryder brought the cup to a media event in St. John's, Newfoundland, where it fell after being set on a table that collapsed. The end result was that the cup had a noticeable dent, giving him a reason to fit perfectly in with the 1999 Dallas Stars. So what did Pantera have to do with the 1999 Dallas Stars? Stay tuned to find out. Back in 1999, I was in grade 7, and because I was a proud Canadian, I was glued to the TV watching the Stanley Cup Finals between the Buffalo Sabres and the Dallas Stars. And sadly, being an Edmonton Oilers fan, it was my best interest for the Stars to lose. Pantera, being from Texas, of course, was cheering for their Dallas Stars. And drummer Vinnie Paul's relationship with the Dallas Stars began 6 years prior in 1993. The Dallas Stars haven't really been around for very long. They originally used to be the Minnesota North Stars, who were around from 1987 to 1993. And in the fall of that year, the team moved to Dallas and became the Dallas Stars. But you would think that hockey would flourish in Minnesota, but it didn't. Poor financial management and battles over business arrangements over where the team played and sponsorships ultimately led to their departure to Texas. And in the fall of 1993, Dallas players Craig Ludwig and Richard Matvichuk were out riding motorcycles together when they stopped by a roadside bar. Ludwig would reveal to NHL.com that as he headed for the restroom, he heard someone shout at him, "Hey, you're Craig Ludwig," the voice said. Ludwig was taken aback. The team was relatively new in Dallas, and not a lot of people recognized him in public. That voice shouting his name was Pantera's drummer Vinnie Paul. Ludwig would remember. He told me he was a big sports fan, knew that I played in Montreal and won the cup there. It was a bit shocking, but it was also pretty cool that here's a rock star and he's noticing me, he'd say. Fast forward now to the 1998-1999 hockey season, and the Abbott brothers from Pantera would write the theme song for the Dallas Stars called Puck Off, which would play every time the Stars scored at home. Here's an interview with Vinnie Paul from several years ago discussing how the song came to be.
It is unbelievable. Every time I walk in and hear it, it blows me away. I mean, my brother's no longer with us, so I get to hear his guitar playing every night, every time they score a goal now. Back then it was once before every period. So it's very special. It's amazing. My buddy, Craig Ludwig, had a big part to do with that. We were out playing golf before the playoffs started with the Edmonton Oilers in '99. And it was me, Ludge, I think Brett Hall was there. Anyways, the Ludge goes, "Man, you gotta write a song for us." I said, "Are you sure?" And he goes, "Yeah, man." So me and Dime went in the studio about 10:30 that night. We threw it down. I said, "Ludge, it's in your mailbox. If you like it, play it. If you don't, don't." I walked in the arena, and literally 5 minutes after I was here, I heard it blasting on the PA, and I was like, I got the biggest goosebumps. I mean, skip the platinum records and all that. That was exciting.
The song would prove to be the right inspiration for the Dallas Stars, as they would go on to defeat the Buffalo Sabres in the Stanley Cup Finals 4-2, despite a controversial triple overtime goal by Brett Hull that clinched the cup for the Stars. Since the series ended in Buffalo, Stars fans would have to wait several days to see the Stanley Cup in their hometown. And by the time the Stanley Cup arrived in Dallas, there was a pretty large and noticeable dent at the base of the cup. The Dallas Stars spokesperson at the time claimed that the cup had been dropped as the band was celebrating their win in the locker room following Game 6. Another theory soon emerged that the cup was damaged at the Dallas-Fort Worth International Airport upon the team's arrival from Buffalo. It was alleged that goaltender Eddie Belfour had dropped the cup, putting a dent in it. Then there was a third theory that involved members of the band Pantera. Drummer Vinnie Paul confirmed to Loudwire, telling him how he received a phone call prior to Game 6 from the Dallas Stars' Craig Ludwig, telling him that if the team won that night, they were going to come over to Paul's house in Arlington, Texas. Paul would claim he bought 5 cases of Crown Royal And prior to the Stars showing up to Paul's house, the team went to a local bar called the Big Apple, and then finally made their way to the Pantera drummer's house. Here's Paul explaining what went down at his house once the team showed up.
Stanley Cup party that you hosted for the Dallas Stars.
Yep.
The Stanley Cup itself was damaged when Guy Carbonneau, apologies, attempted to throw the cup from the roof of your house into your pool.
Balcony.
The balcony.
Yep.
Okay.
The roof is about 50 feet high. That would never happen.
Oh my God. But
This is true.
damaged the Stanley Cup at a party. That's
Man. I
awesome.
mean, me and Dom wrote the song, and they came to my house. And they brought the Stanley Cup, and we brought every strip dancer we could find in town. And it was the best party you've ever seen. At about 5 o'clock in the morning, we're all out in the pool, the hot tub. It's just a party. And here comes Guy Carbonneau, and he's got the cup, and he's like, "Hey, Letty, catch the cup!" And he throws it off the balcony, and it gets right about to there. It goes doink off the side of the pool and into the water. And we jumped on it and sank it to the bottom. And that thing floats really good because it's got a big thing on the bottom of it that holds it. And the cup keeper, the guy you see on the TV commercial, he's like, "You cannot do that. That's the Stanley Cup." And we're like, "We just fucking did it, dude." So it was pretty awesome, man.
It was initially disputed who threw the cup, whether it was player Craig Ludwig or Guy Carbonneau. Both have denied that the cup was thrown, with Ludwig claiming it was passed around on Paul's balcony and accidentally fell over the railing, while other witnesses have claimed it was Carbonneau who did it. And just remember, he has a penchant for throwing Stanley Cups in pools. As a member of the 1993 Montreal Canadiens, who were the last Canadian team to win the Stanley Cup, he famously threw it in goaltender Patrick Roy's pool. The Dallas Stars had an All-Star and Hall of Fame center named Mike Modano, who revealed how the members of Pantera were to blame for the team showing up late to their victory parade in Dallas, revealing, "We spent a lot of time at Vinnie Paul's house for about 4 days straight. That took a little bit of wind out of our sails for a bit. We showed up about an hour late for our parade, so it didn't go over too well with the city and the police that were waiting for us. We thought, what the heck, this could be our one and only chance that we have at winning, so we're going to do everything possible that we can. We'd go home and shower and we'd come back. We then had to reload the fridge and coolers, and that's for sure. It was tough getting all the cars and anybody who could drive sober to the city, so we had to get about 15 to 20 limos taking everybody down, and we finally got down there," he'd say. When it came time for the celebration with the city of Dallas, both Dimebag Darrell and Vinnie Paul were part of the victory parade, jamming on top of the floats in head-to-toe green paint, as you can see here. Sadly, 5 years later in 2004, Dimebag Darrell was killed on stage by a deranged man while playing with his new band at the time, Damage Plan, while Vinnie Paul would pass away in 2018 due to a heart attack. Following his passing, the members of the Dallas Stars and the organization reflected back on how great of a guy he was, with Ludwig telling NHL.com, "You just never expected to hear that news. I guess everyone says that, but I just never expected it." While Guy Carbonneau would say, "He was just a great guy, a normal guy. He was always fun to be around, but you never would have guessed he was a big star." While the Stars captain Darian Hatcher would say, "There was just so much respect there. We respected what he did, and he respected what we did, and that's just how it went." That does it for today's video, guys. Thanks for watching. Be sure to like button and subscribe. If you guys have suggestions for future topics, let me know in the comment section below. Take care.